Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. We start with the third verse today. Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarvakshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetragyayor jnanam yat jnanam matam mama. Know me as the knower of the field. In all fields, O Bharata, knowledge of the field as also of the knower of the field is considered by me to be my knowledge. Now see, we had done the introduction last time and also Arjuna's question. And Arjuna asks a string of questions together. He wants to know what is the technical meaning of all these terms of Vedanta. Now, Krishna ji is answering and he says, Kshetragnyam chapi mam vidhi. He says, know me as the knower of the field in all fields. This all fields is important. So take a note of that, that it is all fields. That means the knowledge of anything at all is possible or gained by the help of the Lord alone. He is the one who enables knowledge. Like I told you, we had done this, that to know anything, whether there is light or no light, you can still see, you can see darkness, isn't it? There is no light there. A dark room, you say, I see darkness. How do you see darkness? Isn't it? Also, I had given you the example that if something is kept on your palm, you can see it. When you remove it, you say, I see nothing. Isn't this a paradoxical term in itself? I see nothing. How can you see nothing? You can see the presence of things and you can see the absence of things. You can also imagine things which are not there by the power of what? You can see a dream. The dream is not there. What power is it that projects the dream when you are sleeping? It lends a total reality to that. This is the power lent by the Lord. A dead man cannot see a dream. No dead man can imagine. No dead man can attend a university for any knowledge. Okay? So he says that know me as the knower of the field in all fields. So he says that he is the Kshetragnya of your body, in your body. Kshetragnya in your body. Kshetra is the field. Kshetragnya, the knower of the field. Right? So when he is a Kshetragnya, then without him nothing can take place. Again and again I say the same thing, that the body in itself is pure matter. Unless and until enlivened by the spirit, the body is incapable of doing anything. It is just an equipment. And so here it is that Kshetragnya. Now, the existence of everything that you see around you comes into existence only because of your ability to recognize it as an object, to see it as an object, and that ability comes from the Lord Himself. Now, see, the Gurudev used to say that the Lord wrapped up in the body, mind, and intellect is the miserable you. He used to say that. He used to say, because that power that the Lord has given you, instead of using it for higher purposes, instead of using it just to be sheer, simply happy, you are getting light, air, water, food, shelter, family, everything the Lord has given you, yet you are unhappy. How ungrateful is that? How ungrateful is that? Think about it. So he says that the PFT, that is perceiver, feeler, thinker, is generated by you, that entity is generated by you, and the perceiver, feeler, thinker is so self centered that he loses the vision of the entire universe. It is just me and about me. The more me centered you will be, the more miserable will be your thoughts. And the more miserable your thoughts, the more pathetic will be your condition. Think about it. The only way to lift your mind above the body is to be A, grateful for his gifts, and B, share what you have with everybody else, even joy. Try to give joy to others, try to share joy with others. Every day, Gurudev used to say, every single day, you have to do something to help someone else. Not about just me and mine and my food and my house and my family. That is the life of an animal. So, if he is enabling you, if he is enabling your body, mind, and intellect in all possible fields, gratefully do something for his universe, do something for the mankind he has created. So that is our duty to do. So, in his Kshetra, the Kshetragnya acts as his agent. So, you must do that. Now, see, even a yogi, when he is teaching, inspired teaching takes place because of him alone. A yogi cannot speak a word on his own. No knowledge comes to a yogi on his own. The teacher who is teaching is enabled by him. The student who is imbibing is enabled by him, isn't it? Yeah. So some students shut off the ability to understand by going to sleep. Gurudev used to teach Upanishads. Once in Delhi, he was taking the Prashna Upanishad. And it was the month of, I think, November or October. And it was a little cool. And there was a, Shamiana sort of a thing made for us. Very few students in the morning. So the sun used to come up and filter in a little bit of warmth. So he used to say, there's a little warmth coming in. You've had a tidy breakfast before coming. And the Swami is singing a beautiful lullaby. So nice time to sleep. No, nobody used to dare sleep in Gurudev's class. But he used to say that to us, that you are all sleeping, or have you imbibed what I have said? The ability to imbibe is given by the Lord. Otherwise, somebody can really sleep. Somebody can really sleep. So now here, see, here he says, I am the one energy that gives a glow to all the filaments all over the world. Now, electricity can say something like this, isn't it? In all the bulbs, what is shining? It is not the bulb that is shining. हम कहते हैं नहीं ये बल्ब चमक रहा है. बल्ब नहीं चमक रहा है. It is the power of electricity that is shining through the bulb. So we are all bulbs. Even our body is Kshetra. Body is not Kshetragnya. The power inside you that enables the body is the Kshetragnya. So have it very, very clear. Don't even think, so what is it? This concept completely minuses the ego from your mind, that I do or that I am capable of doing. You can do nothing. You can do absolutely nothing. Gurudev said to a friend of mine that first of all, take this stupid thought out of your mind that you do. Like all housewives, she was also complaining the same thing. Gurudev, I do so much in the house. For everybody's food, I look after, everybody's bedding, clothes, laundry, this, that. I manage the servants, I get the house cleaned, and every day I do. And nobody is grateful, nobody recognizes it. So Gurudev was quiet and then he said, first and foremost, take this stupid idea out of your mind that you do. आ गई ना जमीन में. Now see, what is it? How can you do? Your body is just flesh. Flesh doesn't move. The very movement is possible in your body because of him. So he is the Kshetragnya, the knower of the field and the enabler, the person who gives you the power to do. See, Drishta and Drishya. Drishta is not the Drishya. You can see your eyes in a reflection or in a mirror, isn't it? So it is not the eyes that are seeing, it is something else in the eye that is seeing. The fleshy eye cannot see. निकाल के बाहर रख दीजिए, it can't see. So, so main thing that he is trying to say is don't be dependent on anything outside to give you happiness. Don't be dependent on any field. जो क्षेत्र है उसमें ये कैपेसिटी नहीं है आपको सुख देने की. That is what the Lord is saying over here, that all the sorrows and confusions and agitations and irritations that you suffer today are not because of the kshetra. It is because of your own mind that you are projecting. You are using the Lord's power for negative purposes. You yourself are misusing that power, right? तो आप दूसरों पे डिपेंडेंट हो जाते हैं सुख के लिए. They are as incapable of giving sukh to you as incapable as you are of giving sukh to anybody else. There must be people who hate you, isn't it? There must be people who think you are horrible. Everybody, है ना? सीता जी को भी कहाँ छोड़ा लोगों ने? So people say wrong things about everybody in the world. So when they don't have power to feel happy themselves, how can they give happiness to you? And you don't have the power to feel happy yourself. How can you give happiness to someone else? सोच के देखो. It is the same power of the Lord when you surrender to Him and say, enable me to have positive thoughts, enable me to make others happy, enable me to spread goodwill in the world. He will enable you. So use that power of Kshetragnya positively. Okay, now come to this. Tat kshetram yaccha yadrakcha yadvikari yatascha yat sacha yo yatat yat prabhavascha tat samasena me shrinu. It says, what that field is, of what nature it is, what are its modifications, and whence it is, and also who he is, and what his powers are, that hear from me in brief. Dekho, don't miss the in brief. Hear from me in brief. So we asked Gurudev that, Gurudev, why did he say in brief? Why not detailed? He said, do you know where this was given out? It was a battlefield. How can somebody give a long talk on the battlefield? The Geeta, when it is sung, or when it is conceptualized, or when it is passed on from mind to mind, is in a jiffy. So here he says here that hear from me in brief. Another thing he said was that listen very alertly. See, when somebody says, I will only tell you in one sentence, so your mind suddenly becomes alert that if I miss this sentence, it's gone. Hai ya nahi? So if the teacher says, like Tapovan Maharaj said to Gurudev, that I will not repeat a single thing, ensuring the alertness of the student, isn't it? When you know that this teacher I will not get again and again, and when the teacher is speaking and he is not going to repeat it for me, I better understand full well what he is saying in one sentence. That is what the Lord is saying. And in that brief thing, what all is he saying? Gurudev, hum log ka mind jante the na, he said, listen as alertly as you listen to a scandal. And we all look down quickly because all of us do that. Somebody is talking about someone else, we say, hey, acha, aisa, oh, and our full mind is in attention. Aur kya hua? Aur kya hua? So he said, listen to this as you listen to a scandal with full alertness. Okay, now what all is he going to tell you? And that also in brief, ye dekho. What that field is, of what nature it is, what are its modifications, whence it is, and also who he is and what his powers are, and hear from me in brief. So he is going to talk about the field and the knower of the field, the powers of the knowers of the field, and also the field. Look how scientific this is. It is like a lab dissection. Kitna logically and meaningfully each and everything he is going to tell you. What the field is and what is the nature of the field, even the modifications, how the field can change, and whence. Whence means from where, and also who. Then he comes to the Kshetragnya, who he is, what are his powers. Hear from me. Okay. Also here briefly from me कि उसका क्या नाम है, कैसे वो चेंज होता है, क्या नहीं है, क्या नहीं है. Because see, if in our daily life we are only dealing with the field, right? So it is most unscientific to live a life without knowing the nature of the world. You're dealing with the world every day, isn't it? You're dealing with people every day. People also come in Kshetragnya, Kshetra. Your situations in life come in Kshetra. Your relationships come in Kshetra. So without knowing the nature of the Kshetra, you will be the most foolish person to be just living as life comes to you. No, no, no. Any intelligent man must know, even when you plan a holiday. Okay, take that example. Even when you plan a holiday, don't you find out everything about the place? Where you are going to stay? What is the package include? What is the cost of the place? How do you reach there? What all can happen there? What kind of food will you get there? And how do you return from there? Everything you plan or not, or you just go. Nobody may even plans a holiday like that. So your everyday living, when you are living every day in the outer world with situations, with people and all that, and not knowing about the nature and the modifications that can happen, how unscientific the way of living is. So you cannot close your eyes to anything in the world, and you should be totally aware and alert about the world of matter. Now, now this should be brought under very close study. Gurudev says to be ignorant of the world is to cheat yourself. Whom are you fooling? You are fooling yourself if you are ignorant of the world of matter. And everything, the Gurudev lists physiology, biology, psychology, and all natural sciences. Huh? They all come under the field of knowledge. And this is, and all the culmination of the secular sciences is the evolution of man. Okay, now here is the he is challenging the spirit of the warrior in Arjun. He is saying that if you are brave, if you are capable of fighting enemies, first fight your own mind. Conquer your own mind. If you cannot conquer your own mind, if you cannot control your thoughts, then you are the biggest loser in the battle of life. You are the biggest loser in the battle of life. The field is the provided by the world of matter to you, and you must know its nature. The first, this verse only says this much, but we all, to a certain extent, know the nature of matter. Nature of matter, two major important things. One is that it is incapable of giving you happiness, and we all run towards it for happiness. Usme hai hi nahi. Number two is it is a field that continuously changes. Change is the very nature of matter. It can never remain what it is. One day it is a plant, next day there is a bud on it, third day there are 10 new leaves on it, fourth day the bud has become a flower, the fifth day the flower has become a fruit, and the sixth day the fruit has become rotten, and the last day the fruit has fallen, and the absolutely last day the fruit explodes and it has become seeds. This is the pattern of all matter. Relationship. I love you so much. I love you till the end of my days, till death do us part, and all the promises that the lovers make to each other. Does not that relationship change after a few years? Think about it. Love may still be there. It will be a different kind of love and caring than it was in the beginning. In old age, it becomes even a much more different kind of loving and caring than your youth. So the nature changes. And Gurudev used to take it, I'm talking of only one marriage. Gurudev used to say, you can keep on changing partners, one after the other, and the other one will be worse than the other. So try. What guarantee you have that this one will give you that happiness which you are looking for? He must be looking for some happiness which you are powerless to give, right? Think about it. I married a very beautiful slim girl. She had no tongue in her mouth. She used to be totally quiet, only smiling. And now the tongue is out, the eyes are out, she has even grown nails, and she has grown spots like a leopard. Now, see, these kind of things keep on happening. They keep on changing. Every relationship, every human being changes. Your physical body changes, your mind changes. One day you like somebody, after 5 days you hate that same person. Isn't that the story of all divorces? They fell in love and got married. And then after 2 years, papers submitted for a divorce. Why? Situations change, people change. So, just telling you that all matter changes. Now, come to the fifth verse. ऋषिभिर्बहुधा गीतं छन्दोभिर्विविधैः पृथक् ब्रह्मसूत्रपदश्चैव हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः. Rishis have sung about the field and the knower of the field. Okay. In many ways, in various distinctive chants, and also in the suggestive words indicative of Brahman, full of reasoning and decisive. ये देखो, full of reasoning and decisive. Only in Hinduism questions are allowed. I have told you this many times. Reasoning cannot be without questioning. Any intelligent human being wants to ask that if I am being told to do this by my religion, why should I do it? Any intelligent person with a mind. It is only absolutely dumb nitwits to whom you can say, you have to do this, you have to do this, and everyone has to do the same. Hinduism gives a huge choice. First, the choice is any path is as good as the other. Karma yoga, bhakti yoga. Even Arjun, have you ever heard of a Vishad yoga? The Geeta begins with a Vishad yoga. The first chapter of the Geeta is Vishad yoga. What does it mean? That when you are kicked by life from all sides and you are most unhappy, where do you go? Hey Bhagwan bacha lo. है ना? That is where you go. Nobody else has the power to save you. So Gita even starts with a Vishad yoga. Even that is a choice. आप जब रोते हो किसके पास जाके रो? कोई है बचाने वाला? You don't go and cry to the world outside. You only cry to somebody who can help you come out of that despondency, isn't it? And who is that? Only the Lord, or a Mahatma whom the Lord enables to lift your mind. ठीक है ना? हाँ. तो ये देखो, Rishis have sung about the field and the knower of the field. Kshetra, Kshetragnya के बारे में, there is a string of rishis. Hinduism does not have one prophet who gives out the religion. You know, there are many religions like that. See, Buddha, Christ, Muhammad, no doubt realized souls maybe, but they were only one and gave out one plain religion because they were speaking to innocent people, ignorant people who were very elementary in their uh, learning. Krishna is speaking to a prince. The teacher speaks according to the student. Here, Krishna, even the rishis, were addressing the most subtle kind of students. So, rishis have sung, not one rishi, see the plural? Rishis have sung about the field and the knower of the field. So, Krishna is not saying कि believe me because मैं बोल रहा हूं. He alone does not take the credit for this philosophy. He is lending authenticity to the philosophy by quoting rishis. देखो, जब आप फिजिक्स का कोई फॉर्मूला स्टूडेंट्स को समझाते हैं, तो आप कहते हैं ना, सो एंड सो साइंटिस्ट discovered this, and this is a law. This is a law of physics discovered by that scientist. So the professor is buttressing up the argument by quoting a scientist who is very well respected. तभी strength आती है ना argument में. Like I keep on telling you that Gurudev said this, Gurudev said that, because I am giving strength to what I'm saying by quoting Gurudev. Here, look what Krishna is quoted. Krishna, though we consider him as the Lord himself, here he is quoting the rishis, giving authenticity to his statement. Huh? देखो क्या कह रहे हैं, rishis have sung. Where have they sung? In the Upanishads mantra portion, they have sung this about the field and the knower of the field. The knower of the field, Kshetragnya, I have talked about it. And he says, not in one way, in many ways. Why? Because there are so many rishis who have sung about it, and each one has a different way of explaining. Each teacher understands differently and explains differently. So in Hinduism, there are libraries and libraries. There is not one book. उपनिषद्स हैं, शास्त्रस हैं, पता नहीं क्या क्या हैं, स्मृति हैं, पुराण हैं, गीता है, भागवत है. अरे आप बोलिए तो सही, आपको किस चीज पे चाहिए? We'll give it to you. So here he says that they have sung in many, many ways. Okay. Now it is Gurudev says that this is not just the imagination of Krishna and just his mind alone that is bringing out this philosophy. It is not his fertile imagination. He is giving you what the rishis have always all along said. And in various distinctive chants. Why does he say various distinctive chants? Because the Vedas can be sung. The meter of every verse is different. There are many kinds of meters used in the Vedas, because those meters can be sung in different ragas, they can be sung in different tunes, and they can be sung to different beats and rhythms. सोच के देखिए. So they were the knowers of music as well, and not just pop music, classical music, classical beats. These ragas are based on that. Go to Samved. Samved is full of it. So anybody wants to sing a new bhajan or a new something should go to Samved and do it. Once we had a talk in the mission, a yagna, and we started with a prayer from the Rig Veda. So that prayer is translated into English and explained to the audience, and then that prayer was sung by our Swaranjali. How beautiful it sounded. Even to the ear, it sounded so well. And all the audience later on asked, we want a copy of that, we want a copy of that. Is this recorded? Where can we get it from? And all that. Can you imagine? Just one prayer from the Rigved. And of course, Rigved is all to nature. So it was a prayer to nature. So ye dekhiye, they have been sung in different chants, he says. Okay, in many ways, in various distinctive chants. सोच के देखो, कोई scripture ऐसा है. Scriptures all over the world have just sentences and lines. Do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this. Whichever religion it is. Here देखो. And distinctive chants, and also in suggestive words. Words that are suggestive of what? Indicative of Brahman. They are indicative of the highest truth of this world, the ultimate reality of this world, that they are. So just imagine, look what he's saying. I mean, it has so much of meaning that, even Shankara has commented on these. So you will get it in Shankar Bhashya, and also, of course, not on the music part, he has commented on the philosophy part. And he says that each verse that is sung is indicative of the power of the Supreme Brahma, which is the only reality, which is the only unchanging reality in the world. Everything else, the nature of matter we have done, is all change. All change. So here he says, see, now these are not really, they are not just forced upon you. None of these is a diktat. Whichever Veda you pick up, it's whichever Upanishad you pick up, they never say you have to. This is the beauty of Hinduism. They respect the dignity of intelligence of the human mind. The Lord has given you a human mind to reason with yourself and think. So there is reasoning given, देखो, full of reasoning and decisive. See, reasoning mein, like in algebra, in geometry, you solve theorems and things and all. You do this equal to this, that equal to this, that, and then you come to the decision, which is the conclusive part, and you, through all that process, you arrive at a conclusion. Isn't that so? Similarly, in philosophy, Hinduism teaches that don't just believe because you are told to believe. Reason it out, that how is it beneficial to me that I should do it. I'm not interested in just pure philosophy for the sake of philosophy. It's not words I'm interested in. I'm interested in how it helps me to live my life fruitfully, purposefully, happily. Isn't that so? Otherwise, we reject it. So here, all these are that. You know, it is just the here Arjun is a devout Hindu come up with learning the Vedas. His education was the Vedas. So Krishna here is quoting the Vedas and telling him that he is also quoting there are two things. Brahman Sutra is different from Brahma Sutra. Be very careful on that. Don't mix them up together. Brahman Sutra are digressions to explain a certain statement alone, and Brahma Sutras are only those which are expositions on the highest truth. Brahma, in English, Brahma, because there's a nasal sound, it is written as N at the end. Brahmana, it is written, but it is the actual pronunciation is Brahma, nasal sound. Okay, so Brahma Sutras are statements, expositions by the rishis, and these are in the absolute inspired, intensive state of meditational activity. That these came to their mind. They were inspirations that descended into their intellect and their mind, which they gave out to their students as sutras. Sutra is a tight statement with a very concise meaning, but a very, very in depth meaning, which needs to be revealed by a teacher. By itself, it cannot be understood completely because it is so contrite. Okay, so this is what he is saying, that it is reasonable, logical. The exposition leaves you with no doubt. The reasoning is so perfect, and then you arrive at the conclusion yourself. And when you are convinced, only then believe in it, not because Krishna said, so you believe in it. So Krishna is himself taking the help of this. So next time we will do verse 6. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.